My blood is hotels.
Hospitality companies are trying to blend the modern with the classical, right?
Today's day and age, what people look for is ease and comfort. Decision taken today is much more valuable than a decision delayed 5 days because time is money, especially in an industry where we sell perishable products.
Do you think that's why so many people, when they travel, they like to stay at the same branded type of hotel?
Luxury in hospitality will always remain good quality service.
People have egos.
I believe to keep ego at my feet and to keep humility and humbleness always at the top. I always say that any success belongs to my entire team and any failure is my direct responsibility.
Leadership involves making a decision and then sticking with it. When really what it should be is, I have an idea, can the team help to add to it?
You can take away all my money, but you can never take away my mind.
Pratik, thank you so much for joining me today. I appreciate it.
Thank you. Thank you very much for having me.
So the F&B scene today, how do you think it's going to be different, say, in 10 years?
I think what definitely everything is moving towards that landscape, and even F&B will, is digital transformation is the key word today. Last 1-2 years, if you look at how much AI has been integrated into different parts, different industries in the world, it's crazy. It's in a good way. It's exponentially increasing, and you have so much more integration that I think even F&B and restaurants as a concepts are starting to adapt. You have a lot of restaurants in Dubai which are now starting to adapt AI and technology and more automated, kind of having a little animation, the food falling onto the plate, and different elements like this to give you a different virtual experience, which also activates the different senses.
Sure.
Where today, a culinary experience is not just about going to a venue and having good food. It's about the vibe, it's about the music, it's about the offering, it's about the whole experience, it's about the holistic feeling, it's about the consistency, about how many people there are, how it feels, the look and feel, the presentation of
Do you
the
think
dish.
that's why so many people, when they travel, they like to stay at the same branded type of hotel? If they're like a Hilton guy, they're going to keep doing Hiltons because they want that familiar vibe.
I think, yeah, it's a mix of both things. I think, yes, one is familiarity. I think always, because for me, the way I look at hospitality is when you travel somewhere to a hotel, you go to a home away from home.
Right.
And if there's a destination that you consistently go to, in today's day and age, what people look for is ease and comfort, right? So when you go into the same places, you're met by the same managers, the same people, there's a design you like, you have a comfort zone. So you'll always go back to that comfort zone, knowing that everything is sorted,
Right.
rather than taking the risk of trying something new. Also, more to that, I think the credit also goes to the brands who so well have developed their brand loyalty that a lot of the people that are once they're loyal to a Hilton or a Marriott or an Accor, they stick to that, which
Right.
the credit goes to every brand, respective brand, and their kind of brand loyalty guidelines.
You mentioned home away from home, which to me, at my age, I'm in my late 50s now, that sounds like classic hospitality. Now, you're a young guy. So how have you come to sort of marry the two, where you're bringing a younger digital transformation type mentality, and you're also wanting to presumably take the best qualities of that classic hospitality experience? Is it based on what you think, you're trusting your gut instincts, or is there something else that's helping steer your direction for the brand?
So I think it's a mix of, you could say, both things. So starting with classic hospitality, I would say I come from a hotelier family. My parents met at hospitality college, funnily enough. I don't know.
Nice.
So now my father is a full-blown hotelier, who's passionately been into hotels. I was born, brought up, and my blood is hotels. So I've always been in hospitality. I've always seen classic hospitality from a very young age because I was always interested. So I was always learning about hospitality, about management contracts, about different things growing up. Later on, of course, with my experience, I also ended up going to Glion, which again is a very, very high demanded Swiss education of hospitality masters. So I think my educational and my basics are all classic hospitality. My root values are classic hospitality. And of course, my age and my kind of know how of the newer generation, it does help me to dynamically blend the two And that blend is very important,
Right.
because digital transformation, yes, is very heavily coming everywhere, but hospitality is a place where there's a very thin line, because at the end of the day, it is a service industry. So where I make things easier for you, there's a limit to how far I could go. Maybe, yes, I can automate certain systems, certain functions to have a faster process. But you as a person, if you're paying for a luxury brand, or you're paying for an experience, you will want that physical touch, because the machine will always be cold.
Right.
You won't have the warmth that you would get from humans, or from actually having a person present, rather than, like, if you go to any of the luxury retails today, if you're buying a Hermes or a Dior or a Louis Vuitton, you're buying any of these expensive brands bags, you don't want it to be, if I give you a kiosk, and if everyone could go to a kiosk, put their name, put their history, kiosk says yes or no for the Birkin, and you get it, and like a vending machine, you would lose that brand value entirely. You pay for the experience, you pay for the exclusivity.
So one of the things that I've realized as I've gotten older and been more experienced is that it's that old Steve Jobs quote, right? Why do I want to hire good people and tell them what to do? I want to hire smart people and they tell me what to do. But people have egos.
True.
And they're not always secure. And so they might not be comfortable being told by someone who's younger what it is that we should be doing if we want to be successful in the future. So when you have an idea based on, because you've got the experience, even if it's instinctive, as you said, you've been growing up in this field, how is it that you're able to convince, because there are different ways that you can lead, right? You can tell people what to do, or you can have that open conversation, which is, I'd like us to sort of go down this road. What are some options, right? And when you're talking to people who have maybe been in the hospitality industry for 30 years, and they're very much of the classic hospitality philosophy, how do you get them to understand that there is a way forward where we're blending, as you said, the two different approaches? What is it that you say to get them to recognize that this is what you think the way forward should be?
So I think, again, I may find myself repeating myself a little bit, but I think, again, I would say a little bit of both.
Right.
And the reason I say that is because I work on a very important philosophy, or a word you could say, is balance.
Right.
Balance of everything in life is very important. Too much water could be bad for you as well. So, in that sense, I think what you said is very true. And not only me, but a lot of young leaders in the industry experience this from people above, from people below, from people on the same level. That counterpart does come with a person, of course, with experience, which is what we mentioned in the start. Looking at new ideas as kind of, oh, why should we change this now, or vice versa. I think in my case, subjectively, I've been very lucky that the all higher management above me saw eye to eye with newer ideas. They wanted to encapsulate their journey of the future, and so as part of that vision, they wanted those new ideas that came from me. So they were very open to absorbing it, and they were very helpful. And we have three generations now of the locals, and Mr. Badar Bukhamas, who's our chairman. He's always been a very supportive, very intelligent, and visionary man who's always guided and helped us grow, which is the reason of this group growing so much over the period of the years. And so I think from the upper management, it's been very easy for me to just convey my ideas and, have a brainstorm and see. Coming to, of course, people on the same level, or the other people collaborating in my team, I think everything is always a team effort, especially in something like hospitality. Hospitality always works like, when I say home away from home. That being said, I also believe that everyone working is family. So when I say family, family has to work together. It's a machine with multiple limbs, multiple hands. It's a whole unit. So one part doesn't work and the whole system fails. So that system, for it to work, everyone has to work together. And so I think a leader, for my philosophy of vision, is that my vision is not good or successful enough if only I see and live it. My team has to see, live, and believe in that vision with me, and then we can all strive forward to achieving it, because that's when everyone will give their 100%, because they will all believe in it. So I've never been a person who's been dictative. I never enforce my ideas or my authority or my power, because I never believe in it. I believe to keep ego at my feet and to keep humility and humbleness always at the top. And I think that really helps me in conveying my things because I'm always open to hearing ideas. I feel that there will always be different ideas. I feel that I could come up with a great idea, which may be 80% of the way, but then the rest of the 20% will come from changes or add ons from different people. And at the end of the day, experienced people can add on to that. So I
Absolutely.
always keep that open with
And I think
discussing
that
with the
that's a
team.
great attitude. I also think that it's unique because I have had bosses who are close to my age, in their 50s, and they don't have the same approach as you do. And I think that too often people believe that leadership involves making a decision and then sticking with it. When really what it should be is, I have an idea. Can the team help to add to it and make it a little bit better? Yes. And that's probably one of the reasons why you're successful. And it sounds like it's also one of the reasons why, you have a vision for the future brand, which I think is unique because I don't believe that enough hospitality companies are trying to blend the modern with the classical, right? And I think that in my experience, when I'm having conversations, they do talk about the digital transformation, but that's more like the guest check-in experience, right? It's not necessarily about how we make the entire process a little bit more encouraging and welcoming. I wanted to, with that in mind, what role do you think that social media plays now in the hotel experience for guests?
I think it actually does play a very huge role. Given today, social media is one of the biggest things today. And it's great. Like I see a newspaper on your shelf over there, but I don't remember when's the last time I actually picked one up. And I remember that there was a time that I would see one every day in the morning. So that's just a little bit about how the world has changed now. I mean, you see something on Instagram or any other social media platform, and you take it as news. 8 out of 10 people see a "Did you know?" And that's a fact. And that person will go and tell it to 10 people. "Oh, did you know?" So I think today, social media being such a vital tool for not only connecting people but passing information, uh, it makes you really be on your toes all the time because you don't know where what could happen in a guest experience. Where, of course, on a daily basis, every hotel in this world has a problem. And that's the unique thing about hospitality is that there's always a problem every day. And every day, I guarantee, even a person who's 30 years in the industry, that person can tell you that every 1 or 2 days, there's one, maybe small, maybe big thing which is new. And that's the beauty of hospitality, that every day is a new day, and at least one small thing will be out of the blue that, oh, what's this? This has never happened before. Because you're dealing with people, you're dealing with hundreds and millions of people, which are changing and changing and changing. So, with all of that being said, today social media holds that power that someone could put something up online and it could damage your brand reputation, the kind of the what brand perception of your hotel. So being very cautious in what goes online, what is visible, what kind of posts you put from a social media handle of the hotel itself, the kind of celebration or things like this. You have to be very sensitive to a lot of different things in today's day and age because anything can blow up and anything can damage your reputation. And I think that that's the kind of hold social media has. I mean, you see the rise of influencers, where so many F&B outlets, hotels have full blown influencers all the time, and there's a marketing budget that people create in today's day and age for just having influencers in their hotel to post about the hotel. So that's again part of a lot of the new era of marketing, or you could say the newer, not classic, but newer hospitality marketing tactics. So I think it's very important and it's a vital tool if used correctly.
Right.
I think you have to be sensible, even from a marketing perspective. Influencers, yes, but the ones that will actually bring you people are the ones you need, not any and all, you could say. So I think, and then it also works in a reverse because then you have guests that are, some guests that want something, so then they hold you hostage with social media. That's another thing where someone can say, "Oh, I will put this on this, 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 this." So they need some things, and then they say, okay, I'm happy, So then they put a very nice thing. So that's also another thing. So it has its positives and negatives, but definitely in today's day and age, it's become a very big tool, very vital tool, and it really affects.
Yes. Explain to me a little bit of the popularity of the branded residence. Why has that, to me, who's somebody who's not in the industry, that seems as though it's something that's become quite popular in just the last few years. Now, maybe it's been longer. Maybe it's come to Dubai a little bit later than other parts of the world. But it- to me, it makes perfect sense. Being in this market in Dubai, branded residences would make sense. From your point of view, though, is it something that's recent or is it something that has been growing for quite some time?
I mean, we saw it back in the day, and which is why we got into it, and we are very heavily into branded residences, where we have two more projects opening very soon within a year. And of course, even our pipelines that we are considering for the future do have a branded residence element that we are considering now moving forward. That being said, I think branded residences is actually, very great for the Dubai market, and it's growing rightly because it has so many benefits. The key word being comfort and convenience, the biggest one, convenience, privilege. You have an apartment where you reside, where you have almost everything taken care. You have great F&B outlets at your doorstep. You have services if you require. You have a nanny on call. You have housekeeping. You have maintenance, any issues, 24 hours a day, round the clock at any given point of time. You're hungry, you can look for room service because you have an entire hotel team attached to the branded residence that is providing you services, that is providing you amenities, that is providing you products, everything of a brand quality standard. So when you're living in a five-star residential branded residence, you're also getting the five-star amenities and the services. So it's like a eureka. It's not about you're living in a good apartment building somewhere, but then you have to call for maintenance, you have to wait 3 days, the guy comes, he's fixed, doesn't fix, goes back.
It
It's
sounds like
it's
you're living where I'm living.
it's basically, so it's about convenience and even the quality of finishing furniture, if there is furniture attached to it. It's also about that element. The building will be maintained perpetually because the hotel is involved, the brand is involved, so they're constantly doing ppms and maintenance of the corridors, of the facilities, of everything in the hotel, of the whole systems, whether it's plumbing. So you know that even in 10 years, 15 years time, my building will stay intact, it'll be maintained. Otherwise, outside, you don't know. Some owners are different, some owners are different, how the building is maintained, how the structure remains, how the finishing is. You always find problems in a house once you start living. But in branded residences, you have the ease of the backing of a brand. You have the ease. So it's as simple as saying, why would you buy a branded watch or a branded shoe or a branded item as compared to a non-branded? Because you're at ease with the quality.
Right.
You know how long it will run you, you know the quality, and you know the value of it. So I think it's actually a great thing for the market. And it's rightly doing so well because people should live in it for sure.
For you, you bring up a couple of interesting points there that segue nicely into the idea. For you, what is your definition of true luxury from
Cool.
a hospitality experience?
Okay. I think for me personally, if I go subjective, for me, true luxury in hospitality will always remain good quality service with a good quality product, bind it together. So that includes, again, a mix of modern and classic hospitality because that includes efficient systems for the team to be able to work faster. I still want the team to be there, but I want more automation and tech so that the team works faster on my requests, on my connectivity to the team, on what I want, what I need, etc. But at the same time, I want the team there present as well with the touch points, with service, with good quality materials, not just LED panels or just machines, but actually nice interior, nice furniture, nice quality. So I think a mix of that with the right service, with good service etiquette, with the touch points of people, with the warmth. Because, like I said, for me, hotels are always going to be an experience of, especially being a person that travels so much, is you spend a lot of time away from your home. So it does become like a second home, especially when you travel a lot. So you want that warmth of people. You want that smile. You want that touch. And that to me is the luxury that I feel that, yes, I'm paying for this experience. I'm pampered. I come back, they know I have a black coffee in the morning. They know I like my Pepsi without ice. They know that I will have a Caesar salad in my breakfast. They know all of this because they care about me, because they remember me, because I come here. I know Adam is the manager. I know Joseph is the this, whatever it may be, just random names. But that gives you the feeling of my place. You feel relatable. You feel, and that is the luxury. That is the real game is there. Is the that feeling of the power, the empowerment to the person coming to your hotel to make him feel like this is my place.
It's that personal
It's
connection.
that personal connection. So tomorrow, if I have a friend, I want to take him to a restaurant. I will take him to the restaurant where I know service, quality, food, people will be good. That I know I can get this arranged. I can sit near the DJ. I can have a bottle of champagne come to I can have the people roaming around because I want to host him, right? So I will always take him to that place where I hold power. I feel empowered because I know that the service will be good. Even if maybe the location is not as good as the much better restaurant in the center of the city. But I will go to that other place just because I will have the comfort and ease of empowerment, and that will be luxury.
So one of the challenges that I face when I travel, so I'm an introvert by nature, and I will go to a nice place and I would actually pay more if they would not greet me in the morning. And the reason why is because if you're coming out of your room and housekeeping is there, and if you're going downstairs and you're passing through the lobby, and then you're going to the breakfast area, I might have to engage in a polite way because I'd like to think I'm polite even when I'm not wanting to be polite with maybe 3 or 4 people. I don't want to talk to anybody. I just want to be left alone. And I guess, is there a way, and this is maybe a personal question, on check-in that I could say at the front desk, please have nobody talk to me? Is that possible?
So actually, it is because this is a interestingly, this is a thing that exists in classic hospitality. In terms of when we talk about service etiquette and stuff, it's instinctive, but we know it at the front desk. I come from a very grassroots level, so I started from front office as a receptionist and moved my way up. So I've worked a long time in the reception, and we knew it was a, call it instinct or a knack, but in our first interaction with a guest, we knew whether this guest likes talking or wants to be left alone. And accordingly, we adjusted how we worked with that guest. Same with F&B. A lot of times when the person servicing the table goes to the table in their first conversation with the guest, they understand that, okay, he's with his wife and he doesn't want too much conversation, doesn't want too much, stay in eye level, stay far. If he needs something, he'll call you.
Or he's with his
No, yeah,
girlfriend
or he's with the girlfriend.
and the wife is at home?
Yeah, exactly. Maybe he was with the wife last week and today it's different, so you stay away.
Yes.
Don't want to say anything. So, so things like this are always there. So these are all instincts of true hospitality gems that will start from scratch, which is why I always say that the roots in hospitality are the most important. For any young people getting into hospitality or wanting to do it, the roots, the classic hospitality is not only the idea of classic hospitality, but it's the grassroots level of hospitality. Today, because of modernization, we skip a lot of the levels. Say, okay, this is easy, this is easy, this is easy, tuck. We start from here. But it's very important to build that base because tomorrow, when a system goes down, when something is not there, when you don't have that grassroots will help your instinct work. It'll help in your decision making. It all builds. All that experience, all that knowledge comes together to build in your decision making. And that's the most important element in hospitality because a decision now is the most important part. So, like I had said before, yes, I do discuss with my teams and things like this, but I do 100% value the time factor of a decision. A decision taken today is much more valuable than a decision delayed 5 days.
Mm.
Even if 5 days later that could have saved me a little bit or done this or that. No, because time is money, especially in an industry where we sell perishable products. It's not, rooms are all perishable. It's not something that's on my store wall and it can sell not today, not tomorrow. If I have a 200-room hotel and I don't sell a room tonight, I don't sell 100 rooms tonight, that's 100 rooms gone. So out of my 7,200 and whatever it comes to, or 7,300 rooms in a year, that's done. I don't have anything more to sell. So I think that's very important, that the time value of decision making, and it only comes with that instinct. So yes, to answer your question, actually we deviated a little bit, is a yes, there is actually a way, and I feel that that's part of, again, getting to know the guest, and that's what I meant, that they know me, so they know what I want, and that empowers me. So the same way, putting it to you, if you went to a hotel where they observed this about you and they left you alone, and no one greeted you, no one kept it, everyone stayed quiet till you spoke to them, gave you your space, you would always choose that hotel.
100%.
And that would be luxury for you.
Absolutely.
And that's what I meant with the touch points of the people.
And it's also about being able to read the room, essentially, right?
Exactly.
And that, I think, is I think people in hospitality know how to do that better than anybody, because they do it all the time throughout the day. I know for me, uh, when I was much younger, as a teenager, I worked in a hotel, and I had 3 different jobs over the course of about 18 months. I worked as a, a lifeguard in the pool. I worked back in the stores department. So I was essentially, when the bar would need more stocking of alcohol, you'd deliver it to them, or when the admin would need something, or housekeeping would. So it was all in the stores department. And the one job that I had that I enjoyed the most was I was a room service waiter. And so you would get wonderful stories where people would, of course, at 8 o'clock at night, they had put out on their door that they had wanted, this is back in the 80s, so they had wanted, food delivered at 6 a.m. Of course, at 6 a.m., they completely forgot that they wanted food delivered. And so you would be waking them up in the most awkward moments sometimes. But that was always interesting to sort of see. And I think, to your point, I think it's great that you have that grassroots where you can talk about all the different facets that are going on, because you've done them as well yourself. And I think that that experience is invaluable. I lived for many years in Japan, and, bosses, CEOs and companies would, instruct their team how to clean toilets sometimes, because they want them all to appreciate how important every position is in the back end. And I think that that gives you that advantage. And do you find that you being able to talk to somebody on the front desk as well as somebody in housekeeping, that it helps you relate to them that much more?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, anyways, I'm the kind of person that I'll greet anyone and everyone I see. So I'm the complete opposite, I would say, of you, is that I would always stop for a second to ask someone how their day is going, or to speak to them, just how I am. And I think definitely having this grassroots knowledge actually helped me also in getting my ideas across. Because when I spoke to a lot of people that were maybe on the same level or at different levels, they realized that, oh, okay, so he does know a lot of things. There was that moment of realization of, okay, you know what, he's not just what we thought. He actually talks like he has a lot more experience, or he relates to us on a much higher level, which is surprising for his age. So they have that moment of realization, which then in turn commands a little more respect or a little more understanding from their side. So it's always worked in my favor. And then again, I'm never a person who's shy of saying that I don't know this, or help me out. I'm never shy about it, because I believe in learning. I feel learning never stops till the last day of your life. You can always find something new to learn. It's a vast, vast place, and there's nothing you can never stop learning. And I think I really believe in the ideology of the fact that you can take away my house, you can take away my car, you can take away all my money, but you can never take away my mind, no matter how hard you try. So, no matter who it is in the world, the one thing they can never take away from me is my mind and my knowledge. So, I always work on strengthening that more and more and more, whether it's learning through people's experiences, my experiences, mistakes, failures. I'm a person that's not at all shy of failures. I enjoy failures. I take it with a stride, I take it pride, because I feel that once I fail and I try again, I'm better than the guy that's trying for the first time, because I know exactly where I don't have to go. So it adds to my experience. Tomorrow, when that situation comes up again, I'm already ready to deal with it. Whereas if I would have succeeded the first time, when something like that would have come in the future, I would have failed then. So I think I'm a person that really looks at, self enrichment, self development. I have good self esteem. I'm not shy of accepting my mistakes, not shy of accepting my failures. I lead from the front. I always say that any success belongs to my entire team because they always are the ones that support and make the decision, and any failure is my direct responsibility.
I would normally end it there, but I have to ask one more question. Your father is a bit of a legend in the hospitality industry. So tell me a couple of things that you've learned from your father.
Oh, everything. I would say 90% of what I'm saying to you, maybe. I think, no, touch wood. I think I've been very lucky and privileged to have a very knowledgeable man as my father. He's been a very loving, very caring, very knowledgeable, he has a lot of wisdom. And where my life, I think, changed and exponentially multifolded was where I started taking his advice. Because, when you're in the teenagers, you're like, oh, I'm getting nagged. And then there comes a point and you realize, okay, no, you know what? I need to listen. So it's just, you sit with him and the kind of knowledge you can take away from him about everything, about so many things, and touch wood, his memory is great. I remember when I was starting out in hospitality and training and stuff like this, he'd have a quiz with me, and things from the book 20 years ago he would remember. What is this calculator? What is this? He'd ask me a question and he'd be like, so what did you learn? So, oh, sorry. So he's harsh. Yes, he's very strong headed, very, very, when we're at work, very professional, very shrewd. Nothing in this world can get in the way of his work, is the kind of thing. Very passionate, very about hospitality. Very, he's a PhD now, honorary by UNESCO, so which is a great thing for all his work. And I think he has huge shoes that I, maybe minorly, even if I can fill, would be an achievement for me in my life. But I continue to learn from him, and I always take his guidance in any big decisions that I am confused about. Luckily, he's just there, so I can always take his guidance and wisdom, and I'll always have respect for the fact that he respects knowledge and he respects results. So he gives me my space and allows me. Of course, initially I had to prove myself. Once I did, I worked quite a few years outside different companies. I had the privilege of working with a lot of veterans in the industry, meeting a lot of veterans, getting to know their thought process around what's happening, how the hospitality is moving. I worked in London, I was in Lyon in Switzerland, and then back in Dubai, I even worked for some time very closely with Banyan Tree Delano with their opening. I was part doing an internship, their corporate internship with the corporate group, which was again a very great exposure, very insightful for me as well. So I think I've had a great journey before I finally came in here to KHAMAS, and even here I think I've been initially. Well, I had a good tough testing time with different objectives, different things to do, and it was a ocean that I sailed through. So now we're striding forward. So I think I think I keep learning from his experience, his wisdom, and I will continue to do that forever, and that can never change.
Pratik, thank you so much for joining me. I appreciate it.
Thank you very much for your time.